our products need to get noticed. SAP, great products, right? Great people, great products. Corporate results, we've already seen slides about that today. You guys are doing fantastic. Big round of applause for everybody at SAP. The corporate results are in, and everybody's doing great. But the bottom line is that you aren't the only company. And you're not the only competition within your sector. So how do you get noticed amongst everybody else? That's the challenge. That's why you have a kickoff meeting like this. That's why you bring in a keynote earlier today to inspire, to empower, to lead, to get people charged up, to get people to figure out what their story is and how they're going to sell it. So the challenge for everybody is to get noticed. Now that's the corporate side, but then we're focused on you. Now I can promise you, and I've told athletes this all the time. Let me go back to the LPGA for a quick second. Every week, 144 players tee it up. And my challenge to each and every one of them is this. If I'm bringing my family to come watch for the day, and I get the tee sheet. How many of you play golf? Okay. And I get the tee sheet. Why should they follow you? Why you? There's 143 others. What sets you apart? How are you special? How are you getting noticed? So, top people in the corporation, got to find a way to get them noticed. Why? Because they're industry leaders, thought leaders, influencers. It's everybody's job to prop them up. Personal skills. That's why I asked you, why are you special? What do you bring to the table? We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Each and every one of you on that business card might as well say, besides Chief Marketing Officer, you might as well say entrepreneur. Because you're an entrepreneur of your own thoughts, you're an entrepreneur of your own ideas, you're an entrepreneur of everything associated with what? With you. So individual accomplishments are big, and most people do not like to talk about themselves. It makes it very uncomfortable. Who are you? And why should anybody care? Well, guess what? Guess what? If you don't blow your horn, there's no noise. None. I'm not telling you to brag. I'm not telling you to go out there and say you're the greatest that's ever hit the face of the industry or anything like that. We're trying to be thought leaders. We're trying to give people value. But we're trying to associate it with ourselves. Why? Because at SAP, each and every one of you, if you raise your own game, your own level, what does it do? The whole company goes. Okay? The other thing is voice and opinion. So, you all have a voice. You have a phone, right? You control your own message, do you not? I would tell athletes all the time, if you're complaining about lack of media coverage, I'm going to ask you two questions. A, what's your story? And why do they should care? And B, what did you do with the last opportunity that you got? Did you wing it or did you work it? Do you have something to say? Or do you just go in and answer the questions? One of the great challenges in being Chief Communications Officer for me is all about messaging, okay? I would work with the commissioner all the time and I would say, regardless of what those questions are, I don't care what the questions are, I want to know what we're going to say. I want to know what you want people's takeaway to be when you walk out of here, when you all walk out of your meeting. What was your voice? What was your opinion? What was your thought? What was your contribution? Was it just a notepad? Or were you a real contributor and an influencer? Okay? That's the challenge. Getting noticed. Try. So our job is to actually broadcast, and this is why I've loved sitting in here for the last couple of days at various times. We got to broadcast a compelling story. We have to know the story. When Dave first called me and we talked about this, he was talking about stump speeches and, you know, if you got called up, what would you have to say if you had to talk about SAP? All right? We're going to do some of that today. But here's what you need to know. The more that you, as an individual, offer, and I'm talking about broadcasting a compelling story, company story, individual story, team goal story, whatever it is, the more you offer, the more attractive your brand becomes. And the less you offer, the more anonymous you will always remain. How many followers do you have? How many followers does SAP have on Twitter? How many followers should they have if you all took it to another level? if you all shared compelling stories of victories each and every day and actually weren't afraid to take a picture inside of a staff meeting that was important to the company and shared it. Don't be afraid. Till somebody tells me social media is a pay-per-view service, I am riding that thing right into the ground. It is free, free, free. It's opportunity. So broadcasting your message, that's what I try to tell everybody they have the opportunity to do. The media is not an obligation, is it? It's an opportunity if you look at it in the proper mindset. The same thing goes for all of you. There is opportunity out there, and you have the chance to take it to a whole nother level. Each and every one of you. Whatever your title is, remember, you're the Chief Marketing Officer. You have ownership, whether you are a shareholder or actually an employee, you have ownership in the rise, the future, and everybody in this company. We all do. Our world is filled with a ton of noise, okay? We live in this world of a 24-hour news cycle. We've got messages that go out each and every day. Press secretaries sometimes who tend to maybe exaggerate a little bit or not tell all the accurate facts. But we live in a 24-hour news cycle, okay? Here today, on to the next. Talk radio, blah, 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 blah. I mean, whatever the story is of the day, and the next day they're probably moving on. We got reality TV. Everybody, raise your hand if you love reality TV. If every woman in this room doesn't raise their hand, I am shocked. Housewives of Philadelphia has got to be one of the greatest shows ever, right? Anyway, reality TV, YouTube for kids. Social media is everywhere. There's like 2 billion people, soon to be 2.5 billion people with social media accounts. That is unbelievable. So the only people who pay attention today are those that we actually make pay attention with a compelling story. Our job is to actually take people who are unfocused and make them focused. Now, I actually don't care at all. I encourage you guys to look down, take your eyes off me, tweet whenever you want, build your brand, and build the brand of your company. But just know that while Molly Fletcher was, we got a message. While Molly Fletcher was talking earlier, you have that chance, okay? You have that chance to get noticed. You have to take that chance. You have to not be afraid. Never be afraid. Go for it. We have to make people focus on us. Now, that sounds very selfish, very self-centered, very narcissistic, all about me. I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying you have the chance to be a brand influencer. Well, how do you do that? I always remember this quote, because when I was in broadcast school at the University of Missouri, one of the teachers was talking about, we had to do our local news packages. And at Missouri, there's KOMU, which is the NBC affiliate. So if you're in school there, you actually get the opportunity to be on TV as a junior or senior. So everybody kind of laughs at you. You think you're great. You're actually terrible. But they would put your package on the air, and the coach or the teacher would say, you got 10 seconds to get people to take notice of your story, to pay attention to it, okay? And you can't preach to anybody unless you can get them into the church. So you better put your best stuff, your best soundbite, your best video, best whatever it is, right up top. That's why Twitter's so key, because you only get how many characters? 140, okay? So everything has to be quick. Think Chicken McNuggets, not full-blown, Whoppers with double cheese and everything else. I got 2 brands in there, by the way. We need a wow message. One of the things I do, and now my consulting side, is we present the what, and then we present the wow, okay? So the what is great, but how do you wow people? You got to get them in. You got to grab their attention. You got 10 seconds to make people pay attention to you. So you can't get them into the church unless you can get a wow message. and then you can preach. Now, we need a strong message. So tell them your story. Again, this is so cool because you guys have been doing that. And is Ginger here? Where's Ginger? She's not here right now? I will say, I saw Ginger speak. I thought that was phenomenal yesterday. Everybody that's come up here that I've seen, fantastic stuff. And I know you were given a little time to prep, but sharing your story is so key. And everybody's got one. We've all got a story. Who are we? What do we do? How do we do it? That's the SAP story. That's my story. That's your story. That's every brand story. But what's the other component of that? What am I forgetting? Why? Why we do it. Okay? It's the why that matters. Why are you special? Why is SAP different? Why is SAP a brand leader? Why do you make a difference within your organization? Why should people buy your product? Why should I go to Target instead of Walmart? Why should I go to Walmart instead of Target? Why should I buy this over this? It's not the what, it's the why. So for me, the what might have been the LPGA. The why is why people pay attention. What we do means a lot, okay? But how and why we do what we do means, typo, means a whole lot more. A whole lot more. So taking the message to the market, my job as communications guy is to get people to focus in on what that message is, okay? Same thing for your chief communications officer. Same thing for your marketers. Take the marketing, get the message out, get everybody to know. We have to all be on the same page. We have to all know what the important facts are. That's why you have meetings like this. What's your takeaway? What are you all going to say when you walk out of here? So in communications, that message is not one of many things. It's not. It is the only thing that matters. The message is everything. Dave has you all here to grab onto some type of message that you're going to carry out with you for the rest of the year. You've got inspiring speakers. You've got people that are giving you information. And your takeaway is to go deliver that, whether it be in a bottle, you're sending it out there and you're hoping somebody gets it on the other side, firing the email, firing the letter, or I don't care if it's a paper airplane, but you got to have a message. And everybody's got to know what it is. Personal messages too. Now, this is not a Q&A, really, but if anybody has a question, I'll take one. Anybody got a question? Perfect. Second row, you, ma'am. No. Come on up. See, this is like a trick. People think, Q&A, I can relax. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I love the smile.
Thanks.
Who are you?
Carolyn Judge Phillip.
Tell them.
I'm Carolyn Judge Phillip.
Why should they pay attention to you?
You should pay attention to me because I'm an excited, passionate, creative, and highly accountable marketer driving the best team in the organization for HR.
Wow.
My own opinion.
And if somebody tweeted that about her, bravo, okay? Very good job, very good job. Sean Weatherspoon. That's you. Now, you're just wearing the shirt, I know. Listen, I went to Missouri. Spoon played at Mizzou, okay? He actually wore number 12 there. He ruptured his Achilles and he's out for the year, but you're wearing the jersey, so you didn't know that. How you doing?
I'm awesome. How
are you sure?
I'm great.
Are you really great?
Well, I'd be better if I wasn't wearing this jersey.
Okay. But if I went back like 9 slides and I said, getting noticed is really important.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, dude, you were the first person I saw when I walked in here yesterday. You're the first person I saw at lunch. I noticed you at breakfast. What is your name?
I'm Ryan Sonnenberg.
Ryan, why should I care about you?
Well, you should care about me because I'm a millennial marketer. And the beauty of being a millennial marketer is that I understand the digital and social aspects of my generation.
Why is SAP worth following?
SAP is worth following because they have
Don't tell me, tell them.
This
is your stage.
I thought we were having a Q&A here.
Oh, I like you even more.
This is an interview, Craig. We're going.
That is not a prop. It's a brand builder. You're doing a good job. All right.
I would say SAP is important to follow because of the cool things that we're doing outside of just software and technology. So SAP does a really good job of telling healthcare stories, about telling a true influential branding of what our software does. And instead of just helping the world run simple, we actually do impact people's lives. So that's why I would say SAP is worth following.
Do you remember what the hashtag is?
Hashtag SAP influencer.
You are phenomenal. Give this guy a round of applause. All right. So I've got the Kraig's list. I spell mine differently. We're going to talk about keys to a message success. Number one, clearly defined. Very, very nice job. Very nice job. And I'm giving you a lot of credit. I mean, you're standing out with the jersey, but your message was solid. Really good job. So clearly defined. That's one of the important things. So in 140 characters, whatever it is you're marketing, whatever it is you're selling, however you're trying to influence, that's your job. Be defined, okay? Clear. Your audience demands it to be clearly defined. If it's confusing, nobody gets it. If they have to try to interpret it, it's not perfect. Concise. Again, great job. You're a little longer, okay? But that's all right. I mean, you're wearing a jersey. You got the Super Bowl coming up. You had a big opportunity up here. So clearly defined, concise. Can't be exaggerated, can't be run on. You got to think that people walk out from your marketing message and they need to be able to tell it to somebody else concisely and clearly defined. Remember, you're talking to somebody else. Memorable. How important is it? How does it stand out? Very important. I used to tell the commissioner or any player, make them remember what they're supposed to remember. Now that sounds really funny or weird, but if I was up here doing a press conference, my job is to sell my story. I have an opportunity to not just answer the questions. I need to be memorable. I need to have a message. I need to be concise. I need to be clear. If you're a journalist or if you're just a spectator, I need you to grasp onto me with a little connectivity, and I need you to be able to have a memorable story to share with somebody that they can go out and tell somebody else. Why? To pay attention to you. 144 players, right? 143 others. Why you? The other thing is repeatable. So that speaks to what I said. Now, if you walk out of here, hopefully you're going to have a few things to say about what I said or what Molly said or what Dave says or what any of the other speakers says. Is it a repeatable message? Do you remember what it is? Can you go tell somebody else? Is it worth repeating? Is it a value message? Value message, big word today. Got to provide value. Everything's value. If I go through somebody's Twitter feed and I'm scrolling down and you can't get me to stop, by the way, pictures are really key. Everybody knows that in Twitter. You got to have images. Otherwise, words, people are just scrolling down. If it's not a value message, it's just spam to most people. You got to get them to stop. You got to get them to stop on a Facebook feed, etc. So repeatable. And create emotional connection. Always create emotional connection. We all know that. That's a big branding thing, right, Dave? Emotional connection to the brand. I'm going to have brand loyalty. I'm going to make sure that that's the brand that I follow, that I care about. I'm going to make sure that I go tell people in a repeatable message, in a memorable message, why they should follow SAP or somebody else, some other brand. That's what we do. So when it comes to the SAP message, questions like this are important. Who can deliver it? And what is the key to delivery? And what is the key to persuading people? Okay? Look, there's a chief communications officer for a reason, but that doesn't mean he's the only guy. In sports, there's a commissioner for a reason. He's got a podium. He stands up here. He represents what? This brand. That's important. But he can't be or she can't be, as a CEO or a CCO or a CMO, the only message delivery service. We got to go bigger than that. Remember, you all are the chief marketing officer of your own brand and also your company brand. So who can deliver it? What's the key? And what's the key to persuading? Who has that answer? Dave gave it away at the beginning. Hint, hint. What's the word? Influence. Influence. Don't sell yourselves short. Don't do it. Every one of you is important. You're all here for a reason. You're not just another employee. You're not just grabbing a paycheck. You're working for a purpose. You're working with passion. You're working to persuade. You're working to influence people. You're working as a part of a whole team. So when it comes to influence, 3 things that define influence. I'm going to give you a noun first. The capacity to have an effect on the character development or behavior of someone or something. Dave's influence got me here to speak today. He didn't have to work too hard, but that's how it happens, okay? So that's one thing. Got that? All right, let's go verb. To exercise influence on, affect, or sway. Can everybody do that here? Yes. If you believe you can, you can.